All right, everybody, welcome. This is Nick here. This is my very first video. And in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is we're just going to go a little bit into my backstory. So if you're brand new here, this is my brand new YouTube channel called Get Fit with Nick. And I'm Nick. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you all about how to get fit. So we're going to be talking about health and fitness. We're going to talk about motivation. We're going to talk about nutrition, exercise, all of these different things to help you get fit, improve your nutrition, and improve your health in your life, okay? So, I've been wanting to create this channel for such a long time. It's really a deep passion of mine, health and fitness. So I'm really excited to be uploading all sorts of different videos for you, especially over the next couple days and couple weeks. I'm gonna be putting up all sorts of videos about health and nutrition, about motivation and fitness, about different types of workouts routines and what has worked for me. So there's going to be a couple parts to this video. First off, I want to start off by sharing my personal fitness journey. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit about why I'm so passionate about fitness and all the steps in between when I very first started getting into fitness and where I'm at now. And now I'm here creating these videos for you guys so that you can stay healthy and fit. All right, no matter who you are, no matter where you're at, you can always do something to improve your health and fitness, okay? So remember that. All right, let's get started into my backstory. Before we do that though, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, okay? So hit the subscribe button down below so that you make sure and get notified each time that I publish and upload a brand new video for you, okay? So I'm thinking a lot of this channel is gonna be like vlog style, but we're also gonna do some specific videos of me doing home workouts for you. So we're gonna do some workout videos. We're also gonna do some cooking videos like nutrition. So look out for those too. But a lot of this is gonna be like vlog style too, okay? Because I'm just really passionate about fitness and it's part of who I am. So let's get started. First, let me share a little bit about my backstory. Now, when I was a little kid, when I was about 6 years old, I was very, very, very skinny, okay? So I was just naturally really, really thin. And I would almost say like underweight, right? So everybody would always look and they would say like, oh my gosh, Nico, you're so skinny. Oh my gosh, Nick, you are so skinny. Some people would call me Nico. Some people call me Nick. You're so skinny. And my parents were actually really worried when I was a little kid. They had to take me to the doctor to just make sure that my health was okay, right? Because I was very thin. My cheeks were kind of like very pushed in. And I didn't eat very much. I was never hungry. So my parents just got very, very worried and they would take me to the doctor. And so because of that, I had to take a bunch of like fish oil. I had to eat some fish oil, which by the way, fish oil is a very healthy nutrient and a very healthy supplement. So I highly recommend that you look into fish oil. Maybe I will create a video about fish oil and what it does for your nutrition because there's a lot of helpful omega-3s in there. But let's get back to the story. So I started out, my parents, they started having to give me fish oil so that I could, gain a little bit of fat because, like I said, I was a very thin and very skinny little kid, and I was not able to gain weight. So because of that, I started having fish oil a lot of the time. And what happened because of that is I actually had some very weird, just stomach things. I never was really feeling very good after that. So it kind of didn't actually help very much. So we were always sort of confused as to why I was always so skinny and why I was never really very hungry when I was a kid. At one point, we even thought that I was lactose intolerant. And so my parents would always feed me dairy and cheese. And then also I would have to take these lactose intolerance, like vitamins or whatever. And I don't know, it didn't really work. Nothing really happened out of that either. Anyways, so that was sort of like my backstory and my struggle in the very beginning. Right? I didn't really know what was going on with my nutrition, but I knew that it wasn't working and I wasn't feeling or looking very healthy. So I set out on a mission to make myself healthier. The first thing that I did was I started to take a swim class. So I took a swimming class that was after school. Okay, so this was probably in about 7th or 8th grade is when I started swimming. So we had swimming class, I think 4 or 5 days per week, and it was after school. And at the very beginning, I didn't know how to swim very well, but I was very determined. And one of the things that I really learned from after school sports, and why I'm also going to create some videos on sports, on workouts, on athletic, on motivation, is because this helped me really develop a strong work ethic, and it really helped me just get motivated in other areas of my life too, besides just swimming. But what this did for me is it taught me a new skill. So at that time when I first started, swimming was very challenging to me. But over the next couple months and couple years, I actually became very good at it. So that was number one. Number two, it really did improve my health and fitness. All right. So by this time, when I started out, I actually had gained a little bit of weight, purely because I was trying so hard to eat a bunch of food to gain weight because I was too skinny. But I didn't really have a clear nutrition plan, which is, again, why on my channel and on this channel here, Get Fit with Nick, you're going to see all about how to get fit by putting together the right combinations of food and nutrition plans, okay? So it's very important. You can't just eat a bunch of junk and expect to get fit, okay? So that was a mistake that I made, and that's kind of why I actually ended up gaining quite a bit of weight. And why swimming really helped me actually lose that weight and become more healthy and fit. So that was the next thing. Swimming really taught me how to become healthy and fit. That was my first exposure in the world of like sports and after school sports, right? The second thing is it really improved my confidence. It improved my confidence because it helped me make a lot more friends. Now, when I was in 6th or 7th grade, that's when I had to get glasses. So you can actually see I have these glasses on right now. However, sometimes I don't always wear them, but I did have to wear glasses when I was a little kid. And it sort of made me shy and nervous, and just, it was very hard for me to be confident once I had to start wearing glasses, right? Because it was a very new look and it was totally unfamiliar. And honestly, I didn't like it. So that made me just very nervous and very self-conscious as a little kid. You know, when you're in high school or when you're in like grade school especially, you're typically pretty nervous when you're going up and trying to make new friends, right? So having the glasses definitely did not help either. But what I soon realized is that that didn't have anything to do with it. So I was able to develop my social skills, make a lot more friends from swimming, and yeah, it was actually a really good thing. So I developed a lot of really strong friendships. I learned how to properly track my workouts. So I actually still do this. I took a workout journal every day to log all my workouts. It's very important. I'm going to talk about this too. I'll create a separate video on how to track your workouts for success, okay? Because tracking your workouts and keeping a log of what you do in your health and fitness is extremely important for you to achieve your goals, okay? So remember that too. And also, again, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified when I upload that video on my channel about how to create good, positive workout routines and also track them properly, okay? So the next part of my story so I started getting good at swimming, and I was actually competing in some after school like events. So we would have every 2 weeks or so, I think they were about every 2 weeks, we would have like a swim meet, right? And so I started doing these, and at the very beginning I was very nervous, all right? I was really scared. My heart was always pounding when I was gonna get up on the swim stand and like dive into the pool at the very beginning. And all these people were watching, and I was just really nervous, right? But what I started to quickly realize through working out, through just careful precision and persistence, is that it actually was not that bad, and it was actually kind of fun to have a little bit of pressure and have people watching me around, watching me swim. And after maybe about 5 or 6 swim meets, so again, I did this for several years, But after about 5 or 6 swim meets, I started to really look forward to it too. And it became like a positive thing in my life. It was something that I really wanted to do, and I looked forward to it. I remember the swim meets were always on a Saturday, and I remember going home from school on a Friday, or well, we would go to swim practice on the Friday. But it would always be so fun to go, just be looking forward on Saturday to the swim meet, and we would actually have to wake up pretty early. So that was pretty cool too. But it was really fun. They were typically pretty close to where I lived. So we never really had to drive super far. I think the farthest one was like 30 minutes. But also there was a pool right where I lived. I could even walk there. So that was really, really cool. And yeah, overall, this became a very positive thing in my life. All right, so that was sort of the end of phase 1. That was my swimming journey. That was where I really learned how positive exercise can be in your life, right? And I also learned I didn't really learn too much about nutrition yet. I was still kind of eating junk food, but I was getting a little bit better. And I also, because I was exercising so much, I did sort of lose a lot of that weight, right? Alrighty, so then the next important thing that I did in my backstory and in my personal fitness journey was I was going into high school. I was going into high school, and when I got into high school, again, it was a totally new high school. I didn't really have any friends. I knew maybe like 2 people at that high school. So, going into freshman year, it's always kind of nerve-wracking, right? Because you have to make new friends. You're trying to find your classes. You don't really know where anything is. You don't know who people are, okay? So let me know down in the comments too, if you can relate to that, if your high school experience was like that. I think a lot of you are gonna relate to this, okay? So that was part 2. I was transitioning into high school. So what I started to do though is I kind of like was socially isolating. I just wasn't really hanging out with very many people. I had a hard time making friends. And so because of that, I kind of just felt lonely and kind of sad a lot of the time. And because of that, I didn't have very many fun things to do after school. So I slowly started to just kind of like gain weight again. And I don't know, I didn't end up continuing with swimming because it was far away from my high school. It was a really far drive. I went to a different high school, so I didn't do swimming anymore. And there was no swimming pool at my high school, actually. So swimming was done. All right, I was over with swimming. Said goodbye to all those friends. And yeah, it was the end of that chapter in my fitness journey. So I was done with that. And I didn't join a sport at my high school, the first 2 years of high school. So I'm going to get to this in a little bit. I'm going to share more of the story. But at my high school, for my first 2 years in high school, there was not a required fitness, or you didn't have to be in an after-school fitness program, except for one time a year. All right, so there were 3 sports seasons, and you only had to do 1. And because I was just getting kind of sad and like bored and lonely, I didn't like want to do one. I guess I just kind of wanted to avoid it. So what I did was I picked the sport that I thought was going to be the least effort and was going to be the easiest. So I picked tennis, which I had never really done before, and it was not very fun. I didn't like tennis. It also is not a very rigorous sport, right? You're not moving your body very much. So I didn't get a lot of good exercise, and I was kind of just, I was doing it just to fill the high school requirement. So this is a quick side story. My parents also had recently got divorced in about 7th grade, when I was in 7th grade. So I was just it was a weird time for me. I was a little bit sad. Just didn't have very many friends, didn't have very many people to connect with. So I just kind of felt I was like in a lull in my life, okay? So because of that, yeah, like I said, with my after-school sports program, the tennis, it was really just, I didn't get a lot of activity. And so I kind of started to gain a little bit of weight again. However, I was also extremely self-conscious, and I was aware of that I was starting to gain weight, and I started to kind of like freak out a little bit. And I was like, oh no, I need to go on a diet because I don't know what's happening, but I need to figure out my nutrition and I need to get on a new diet, okay? So again, we're going to talk a lot about diets and nutrition on this channel. Not diets that are strict or restrictive, but healthy ways, healthy nutrition. That is what this channel is all about. It's about healthy nutrition. Okay? So the next thing is I was feeling very unsure of what to do. All right? So I had so many challenges with health and fitness at that time. I was trying a bunch of different things. So I tried vegetarian diet. I tried vegan diet. I actually had a friend who was vegetarian in high school, and she gave me the idea of trying vegetarian diet. So I tried that. It was all right. I wouldn't say that it helped me lose any weight, though. It did not help me lose weight. I also tried a couple other diets. I'm going to get to what my favorite diet is here later on in the video. And I'm also going to upload a separate video specifically on this type of nutrition plan because it's very, very helpful. It's what I use today to really fuel my workouts, to feel good, to feel nutrition, to feel just healthy and good, okay? So I'm going to share all about what that is in just a little bit. And yeah, so basically what I did was I tried keto. I tried, or not keto, I tried, I can't remember the name right now, but it's a diet that has a lot of oats in it. I didn't really like it, and it didn't work very well for me. So that's when I kind of like hit the ground floor, right? I was kind of like, this is really bad. I don't know what to do about this, but I was just very frustrated and very upset. And I didn't know what to do about my health and my nutrition, right? Like I really just felt so clueless. And that's why I really want to create these inspiring videos for you, so that if you're in a similar situation to where I was, you can take these active steps to improve your fitness, improve your health, and improve your nutrition for the better. And so you can live a better life, feel more healthy, feel more energetic. Okay, so then what happened? This was actually very unexpected, took an unexpected turn. The third year of high school, my high school decided to make it mandatory that you do a sport every season. So in high school, we had 3 sports seasons per year. And that year, they decided to make it required that you do a sport every single season. So I suddenly had to do a sport in the fall. And for boys, we only had 2 options. One of them was football, and I was not doing football. I was definitely not doing football. I was 100% sure of that. And so the only other option was cross country, so like running. So because I was 100% sure that I was not going to do football ever, I don't know, it just was kind of, I had never done it, and you have to wear all the pads, and it seemed very dangerous. So I decided not to do football. So I decided to go with cross country, which is like long distance running. And that is when everything changed for me, okay? So I'm going to share so many videos here on running because I think running is a very healthy activity. It's really great for you to be able to, I'm going to put on my glasses for just a second. It's really great for you to be able to get outdoors, right? You know, being outdoors and just breathing in that good fresh air while you're running, it really, not only is it good for your physical health, but it's also great for your mental health too, right? Because you just get to escape whatever you're doing from the day. You get to get out, experience nature, which is very, very healthy, not only for your body, you also get fresh air, and you also improve your mindset too, okay? So that is what this is all about. It's all about just living a healthier life in all areas, okay? So then I started doing cross country because of that new requirement at my high school. So when I started doing cross country, at first I had never really done long distance running. And in fact, I was pretty nervous about it, okay? I didn't really know what to expect other than I had a feeling it was gonna be really, really hard. And I was right, it was really, really hard. I remember the very first time that I went for a run on my own, I was practicing before the season started so that I could get a little bit more in shape, because I was not in good shape at that time, like I said. I had sort of given up on nutrition and fitness, which was a bad mistake. Do not ever do that. But that was what I did. And yeah, I just would run a little bit on my own before the season started, so over the summer. Excuse me. And what ended up happening was it was very hard. My legs were extremely sore. I would sweat profusely, just a lot, and it was very strenuous. My legs would just get really sharp pains, and I thought it was my shoes at first, but I think my muscles were just not used to it, right? So that's another thing that we're going to talk about on my fitness channel, on the channel right here. You are going to see how to prevent muscle cramping when you're exercising, all right? We're going to talk a lot about how to prevent muscle cramping. We're going to talk about how to roll out your muscles properly, okay, for health and fitness. So that's very important. A lot of people neglect to take care of their muscles after a workout, and that's a big mistake, okay? So we're also going to talk about that in separate videos, so make sure you subscribe so that you can watch those videos later on. The next thing is, so I started my fitness journey. I started doing that. It was pretty great, but like I said, it was very challenging at the beginning. Honestly, I was the slowest person on my cross country team. I was always in last place, but I didn't give up, right? Because once I started to run a little bit, I kind of realized like, wow, I was noticing my body changing, right? I was getting in much better shape. I was losing all of that fat pretty quickly. And so I really decided, you know what? I need to give this my all. I need to really go for this. And so because of that, I wish I could show you. There's a picture on the wall. I'll have to show you guys in the next video. But because of that, I actually set some just very cool goals. Again, we're going to talk about goal setting, how to use a goal setting journal for your fitness, okay? So we're going to talk about how to use a goal setting journal for your fitness later on. But anyways, what happened with cross country is it actually changed everything. I made a lot of new friends, and that really, again, it improved my confidence for the better because I was meeting a lot of new friends. It was really great, and I actually ended up becoming, I got on the varsity team. So the very first year of cross country, I was on the JV team. Like I said, I was the slowest. But after 1 year of just persistence, of sticking it through, of doing all those workouts, focusing, and also, like I said, having fun by making friends. The second year in cross country, I actually made it onto the varsity team, which I was really proud of. So at that point, I had sort of proven to myself that I could really do anything that I set my mind on, okay? And we're going to talk about this too. Mindset, goal setting, motivation, especially for fitness. But this really proved to me that I could do anything that I could set my mind on, okay? So at that point in my second year, I was on the varsity cross country team. It was what's the right word? It was strenuous. It was difficult and it was challenging. But it really taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me some really good lessons, okay? At that point in my fitness and nutrition journey, I was still, I had lost quite a bit of weight. I was still not quite where I wanted to be, but I really had done a good job of transforming. I did not have a set fitness or nutrition plan though, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about next, in the next phase, in the next chapter of this video. So at this point, I was done with high school. It was the summer after high school, and I had already decided which college I was going to. So I was getting ready to go to college, and in the next chapter of this video, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to share with you what happened in college. Hi guys, I'm back. Now I'm wearing a hat and my glasses and new clothes, and I'm in a new location, but we're going to get back to telling the story, okay? So second part of the story here is when I went to college. So what did I do in college? Well, it was the summer before college, and it was right after high school, and I was like, Nico, I kind of wanted to do cross country again. Because like I said, I had been doing running and cross country before in high school, and it was pretty good. I would say that I made a lot of good friends. I lost a lot of weight. I just felt like a totally revitalized person. So I made the decision that I wanted to continue that on in college. So for those of you who don't know yet, I went to USC, which is the University of Southern California. in California, of course. And it was pretty cool. So what I did the summer before was I Google searched all the sports that they offered. As you probably know, they offer a lot of sports. But I wanted to do something that you didn't have to like try out for. Like obviously football is a pretty big deal over there, right? And baseball and all that, like you have to be like college level, really, really good. And I was not really an athlete. I wanted to just do it for fun. Didn't want it to be the main thing, but just a way to meet people, to stay healthy, and to have fun. So I Google searched on their website, and I noticed that they had, what is it called? Cross country. So they did have cross country, but you had to have like specific times, like for how fast you could run a mile or how fast you could run 2 miles. Let me just get my water really quick. Oops, there's no water in there, so I'm still thirsty. Let me, hold on 1 second. So you had to have specific times that you could run in order to actually be allowed to be on the team. So they didn't want people that were really, really slow. So I told them what my time, I like emailed them and I was like, hey, can I have more information? And they said that I needed to send them my times for running miles and stuff. So I sent them that and they never got back to me. So I think that just means that didn't make the cut, which is fine, because what ended up happening instead was I actually ended up doing the triathlon team, which was super, super fun. So if you don't know what a triathlon is, it is swimming, biking, and running all in one. And it's in that exact order. Okay, so the first part is swimming in the pool or in a lake or in the ocean. I'll get to some more stories about that. But yeah, so it was pretty crazy. So I ended up doing that. The bike is the second part and then the run. I ended up doing that. It was super, super fun. Oh my gosh, so good. Like really, it was amazing. And yeah, so I started doing that. It was a really, really great way just to meet friends right off the bat. So if you are someone who is in college or you're going to start college soon, I highly recommend that you do a club sport, or they have different names for them at different colleges, but a sport that just anybody can sign up for and join, because you really make a lot of good friends. You meet people who are just interested in different types of activities and stuff, and people like that you might not meet in your normal everyday classes. So I did that. It was really, really good. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh. And that just gave me a really good, solid group of friends the first year of college. So I started doing that. That also really gave me some good work ethic, okay? It gave me good work ethic because for these triathlon team practices, we had to wake up at about 5 a.m. 5 a.m. during college. So that was not easy to do at first. But it built a really good habit for me, and I actually started waking up really early all the time throughout college. And even after I left college, I kept that habit because I just found it was a really good habit, and you can get a lot done when you wake up really early and you just feel accomplished. So I left that habit intact, and I actually was doing that for quite a while. I still do that right now. I still wake up very early in the morning when it's still dark out. And it just gives me this good sense of accomplishment. So on this channel, on my YouTube channel here, I really want to talk about mindset and what it takes to have success. And so what it takes to have success, you must have really good just mindset and beliefs, okay? So I'm going to fix my hat really quick. So you must have a really good mindset and really good beliefs, and you must develop good habits, okay? So that is how you be successful, because one of my mentors always says, you are not what you do, you are what you repeatedly do, okay? So you're not what you do once, you're what you repeatedly do. So you need to keep that in mind when building good habits in order to help you achieve your goals. So that was one habit that I learned from triathlon team that I'm very, very grateful for. I also developed a good work ethic because I had a lot of homework in college, as most college students do. And I was actually a chemistry major, so I took like chemistry, physics, math, all that good stuff. Those were like, I loved those. Yeah, there were only like 6 people with my major in the whole college. that year, and there's 4,000 people per grade. So, and there were 6 people who studied chemistry. It was very rare. But anyways, it got me to develop I'm really good at building a schedule. Okay, so building good habits, like I said, habits, repetition, what you repeatedly do becomes who you are. Okay, so if you want to have a healthy body and a healthy mindset, you must continue to develop your body and develop your mind every single day. It's very, very important. Okay, so that's what happened next. What happened after that, it was even more interesting. So what I did was I also decided that I wanted to join the outdoors club. So I decided to join the outdoors club. That was another great way to just make some friends that I would not have normally met in my college, in my classes. And that was good water. And in my fraternity. So I was also in a fraternity. I was a very busy college student, but that's why it was very important to me to have good health. And it still is very important to me to have good health, which is why I'm creating this YouTube channel for you guys. And I'm very passionate about health and fitness. And it's gonna, like, I'm so excited. I know this is my first video, but I'm so excited for all the YouTube videos that I'm gonna create for you on Get Fit with Nick. That's me. So still, I've said this many times, be sure to subscribe. There's gonna be so much good stuff. It's gonna be in a really unique and special way, okay? So, where was I going with that? Okay, so then what happened next was, outdoor club. So I joined the outdoor club, and I was able to spend a lot of time getting some slower cardio in, So with triathlons, it's a lot of cardiovascular activity, which is when you are working your heart rate. Not so much weightlifting, but like running, swimming, biking. That's exactly what it is. But that was a lot of like long distance cardio, and it was it was exhausting. Yeah, it was exhausting, I think is the best wording for that. Then what? I also decided that I lost my train of thought. I'm going to edit this out. I also realized that it was really important to get some other types of workouts in. So I decided to join the hiking team, outdoor club, whatever you want to call it. And so because of that, what I was doing was I was going every single day. We were going out on these really long hikes. It was like 2 or 3 hours every single morning, which is kind of insane to me now because college classes typically started at like 8 or 9. And so we would have to be up at like 4, get in a hike from like 5 to 7, and then shower because you're all dirty and sweaty. And like sometimes just you didn't even have time to eat breakfast. Like I would have to bring it to class. So yeah, I developed a very good work ethic from all of that. And I highly encourage you to develop a really good work ethic too, because it's going to serve you for the rest of your life, okay? In whatever you do. And it's very, very important. And a lot of people always say to me, Nico, you look like the type of person that was always thin. Like, look at see, there's very low body fat. But it was not always that way, okay? In fact, for quite some time, I really like struggled with weight loss. I just didn't understand nutrition, how it all worked, right? I knew that there was more to the story. I just did not understand it. And it's taken a lot of trial and error and quite a lot of just experience trying different things and firsthand seeing what worked for me, right? Because it's different like reading a blog post online on the internet. That's very different from actually going out and trying it, right? So you just never really know. You can definitely like follow guidelines and principles, which is again what I'm going to be providing for you for free on this channel here. But you also need to test it out a little bit, because what works for most people, you may just find that it's not really your ideal diet or your ideal nutrition plan, right? And that's okay. It doesn't have to work for everybody. Not everything is going to work for every single person, okay? So there are patterns and there are trends that will generally work for most people, but you still need to be able to be willing to try and just kind of see what happens, right? So keep that in mind with all of this, okay? Good. So that was sort of my whole fitness journey up until college. Now, after college is where it really gets interesting, okay? So you would not expect this, but just listen up. All right, so pay very close attention. So the next thing that happened is I started getting on this weird, and I remember I got this from a book. It was called The 4-Hour Body. I started going on this weird, I wouldn't say, it was more like, it was sort of got into unhealthy eating again. So I had this weird fictitious idea that that I couldn't lose any more weight. I was pretty like lean, but yeah, I had this weird idea that like I couldn't do it anymore and I had to try something new, which who knows, it's good to mix it up. It's good to try new things, but I probably would have been fine if I had just continued. But this book led me to believe that by like just eating a bunch of extra, like they called it like this hypercaloric diet where you eat like way more than you really need to eat, and that somehow like boosts your metabolism and then makes you lose a bunch of weight later. So I tried that. It was a very, I enjoyed it for the first couple weeks. Let me just say that. So the cool thing about this was you got to eat kind of like junk food, or you got to eat like kind of whatever you wanted. There were a couple of rules, but like you pretty much could eat whatever you want. And I had actually been on a very restrictive diet for quite a while. So that to me, it was a little bit appealing at the very beginning. I was like, wow, I can eat whatever I want as long as I follow the rules. And the rules were very basic. It was basically like you couldn't eat like, or you had to have grapefruit juice. I remember you had to have grapefruit juice like 30 minutes before you started eating food. And I think that had something to do with your leptin levels, but it would do something special and it would like, I don't know. You had to do that though. So if you followed that rule, and then, I don't know, there was like very little rules. You could pretty much eat whatever you wanted. So I started doing that and I enjoyed it for a little bit. But what I started to find, and this is really actually not good. So I was not expecting this, but what ended up happening was I sort of got like really, I built up this habit. It was not a very good habit, where I really would I would like look forward to those days of eating quite a bit more than I really needed to, right? And that's not a very healthy eating It's not a healthy eating pattern to always be looking forward to eating, like overeating, right? So I developed that habit. It helped. It did, I guess, like help me lose a little bit of extra weight. I don't know if that makes sense, but the idea here was if you had like one day every so often where you would eat, like overeat and like eat a bunch, then you could be a little bit more restrictive calorically over the next several days and weeks, because you sort of like satiated yourself. And that was the whole idea. And I will say for the very beginning, it worked for, I don't know, 2 to 5 weeks. I would say it probably worked. But then, like I said, I started to develop this habit that was not serving me. And it was basically a habit where I would just really look forward to those days of eating a lot. And that sort of trained my brain to like associate pleasure with overeating, which is not a good thing. As you can see, it's probably not a very good habit for anyone who's trying to live a healthy lifestyle. So that happened. I started just eating a lot of just crap, sugary foods that really I did not need to eat. Or just like bad sugary foods, I was just eating stuff that you really didn't need to eat. And yeah, it was really not good. So I started doing that for quite a while. And then I eventually recognized, so it took me, this is looking back, it makes sense. So I want to give this, please pay close attention to this part of the video, because if you are experiencing this right now, you may not even be aware of it. So here's how I knew. So basically I was waking up really early, not because of my alarm, but like before my alarm, because I was so hungry all the time, just like looking forward to those days of eating a lot of food. And like I said, I started to develop these habits of wanting just like sugary food, like I remember craving like donuts and cinnamon rolls and ice cream. And before I started eating those foods regularly, like those were not ever things that I would even eat. Like I didn't normally even like those, but it was almost like I intentionally built up a bad habit, which was very weird. But I almost couldn't detect it until I started noticing again that I was like gaining weight from that. Okay, so just be very careful if you ever use any of these strategies. They're called like carb cycling, and I think that's what people call it these days. That is not something that I really am going to recommend to you on this channel, because personally, it only was effective for 2 to 5 weeks, and then it actually made everything a lot worse in the long run, right? So it's like you get a very short-term gain, but it really ends up derailing your progress and actually putting you worse off than you were at the very beginning. So you may as well just not do it, okay? So do not do that. Yeah, it just led to a lot of sugary cravings, and I'm going to talk about that more on this channel in the next videos, about some strategies that I use to curb my sugar cravings, or not even my sugar cravings, because I don't have them anymore. But years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I would still get those types of cravings. So I'm going to share some strategies. One of them is coffee. Well, I'll create another video, so look out. Make sure you subscribe to my channel here. And yeah, I'll share some stuff about how I eliminate that sort of stuff, right? So how I eliminate sugar cravings and other types of cravings. It's very important because it's a very normal thing as a human being. When you're trying to lose weight, your body kind of goes into this mode, and it's like, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to eat again because you keep starving me. Don't starve yourself, by the way. But your body just has this weird fight or flight mechanism, and it starts signaling to the brain like, hey, I don't know if he's going to feed us again, so just get really hungry and eat a lot now. So that's kind of where cravings come from, okay? But I'm going to share some very effective strategies on how I was able to eliminate them. One of them is coffee, black coffee, so not with milk or cream or sugar or anything. But yeah, so I'll talk about that again. I'm going to create a special video. Excuse me. I'm going to create a special video just on that subject, okay? So stay tuned for that. The next thing that I want to talk about in this video here is sort of all the different types of nutrition plans that I tried and what ultimately worked the best for me, okay? So let's get into, this is like a nutrition segment of the video. So what I'm going to do down below is I'm going to link this timestamp right here in the video, so that those of you who are looking specifically for nutrition only, and you don't want to look about the backstory, you're not interested in that, and that's totally fine, I get it. You are going to be able to jump here to this point in the video and learn all about my nutrition strategies. Sorry, you guys, I just got this new chair, and it's kind of comfortable, but it's kind of not comfortable after a while. Like, it's getting old. So anyways, what else? So the next thing is, yeah, nutrition. Let's talk about nutrition. So I like to think of nutrition sort of as like this revolving ball, right? So you kind of like get started with it and see what happens, and then it kind of like goes in one direction or it goes in the other direction, okay? So sometimes it can go in a really good direction, and you're like, wow, this is really getting me the results that I want, okay? And so if that happens, like, you really are best just sticking with it. Okay, so you don't need to try and mix in these other things that might derail your success, right? So like I said earlier, I tried this, it wasn't a diet, it was like a method or a practice, I would say, just adding in these certain days where you intentionally overeat. So that was an example of like adding in something new when what I was doing was already working. And so you don't need to do that. So if what you're doing is working, really just stick with that. Just stick with that. You'll do much better. Just continue doing what's working for you. And again, not everything is always going to work for every single person. So once you find something that's doing well and you're happy and you're healthy, and again, we're going to talk about all these different strategies on this channel later. Once you find a couple things that are just really working for you and they're sticking, then just continue to do that, okay? Then you can start to focus more on working out or like exercise versus the nutrition part, okay? So again, on this video, on this channel, we are going to be talking about both of those topics. So nutrition, so the food that you put in your body, that's very, very important. We're also going to talk about exercise and like movement and the ways that you move your body for health, okay? So those are two very different things. But once you find one area of those and you're like set in and you're solid with one of them, then just keep what you're doing in that area and then move on to the other one, okay? And then when you sort of like plateau out on the other one, then you move back to the other one and like keep improving things, right? That's how you keep this fun and you keep it, that way you're always growing, right? Because it's actually really, really important that this process be fun. Nutrition, fitness, health, and weight loss, it needs to be enjoyable, and you need to like it, right? You need to find something that you actually like. Otherwise, it's never gonna stick. And the way that you get really good results with nutrition and fitness is if you make it part of your lifestyle, right? Like you make it part of who you are, okay? So that's the only way that you're gonna get really good results is if you just make this, like if you make your fitness who you are, okay? Oh, actually, you guys, I really wanna, I'm just gonna, what happened? No, okay, I wanted to show you guys. Check this out. Yeah, I'm wearing a tank top. Just to show you guys that, because I just went to the gym a little while ago, that's why I'm wearing different clothes. But to show you guys that I'm actually qualified and I know what I'm talking about. Look at that, yeah. Awesome, right? So I've been building up my biceps now for about, I would say I've been lifting weights like not very seriously for approximately 3 or 4 years. That was when I like just barely, but like I was just getting in the gym literally to like pick things up and I didn't know what I was doing. I would say that I've been lifting seriously, as in like I've been following a weightlifting program and eating properly as well for approximately 1 year. Yeah, like literally just 1 year. So I'm like I'm stoked with that. Look at that, you guys. I'm happy with how it's going for after 1 year. Okay? And these results can be yours too. All right? So I'm going to teach you everything that I know about weightlifting, about just fitness, physical fitness, having fun with it too. Like I said, I love going to the gym. I really do look forward to it. And I think that's why it's working for me. Okay? So that's for that part. That's it. But what we're going to talk about now in this part of the video is we're going to talk about the nutrition plans that I tried and what I've ultimately like stuck with and settled with to achieve these results. Okay, so you may notice that I'm drinking quite a lot of water, and that's also really, really important for your fitness and health. Not a lot of people drink very much water, so you should start drinking. I drink probably at least 3 liters per day. I know some people recommend drinking like 1 liter per day. I just don't even understand how you can drink so little water. I'm always thirsty. So I drink probably more than the average person. But I find that it's really, really helpful just in my focus, especially early in the morning. So like I said, I always wake up really early because I like to do that. And that's a thing that I like to do. And so I do that every day. And yeah, the water, it really helps. It makes you feel like fuller too. So, sorry, my back, oof. It's very tired from the gym. But yeah, when I drink like the water, it makes me feel really full. So that's very important, especially when you're trying to like lose weight, or at least not gain weight. You don't always have to be like trying to lose weight, but you just want to feel satiated, especially when you're kind of changing your diet, you know, and you're making some changes. You want to be very well hydrated because water is very good for your health. Okay. I know there's some people who do water fast or do dry fasting where they don't drink water. I think that's crazy. Water is required for you to live, so drink it. Okay, so we'll talk more about maybe I'll do a whole video on water and all the health benefits and all the science behind water, because I actually, like I said, I studied chemistry in college, so I know all about water, H2O. Okay. All jokes aside, though, like water, I drink a lot of it. I also drink coffee in the mornings, but just black, because I just don't really like cream in my coffee. I think it's kind of gross. So that's the reason why. What else? So the nutrition plans that I've tried. Let's go into those. So the first one that I ever tried was vegetarian. That was, there was nothing like terribly wrong with it. However, I found that I was always still pretty hungry. I didn't find it very satisfying. And I actually found that I kind of like I wouldn't say I gained, I don't know how much weight I gained. I didn't really weigh myself, but I felt like I just looked very fluffy, if that makes sense. So I just looked kind of puffy, and not very lean, which that was what I wanted. So it was not working for me. I very quickly decided that vegetarian was just not the thing for me. That was actually in high school. So after that, I didn't really have a set plan for a little while until I got to college, is when I started trying more things. So the rest of high school, I kind of just gave up. I told you I was in cross country. So we had to eat a lot of pasta for running, because carbohydrates would fuel up your muscles the day before a race. And so, yeah, I kind of just ate whatever I wanted for the most part. I ate a lot of protein bars, actually, looking back. Like it's not very good stuff for you. It's kind of just like fake processed food. But I ate a lot of those, peanut butter and chocolate, like protein bars. And my mom would give me those, and she loves me. So she was doing it with her best heart in mind. But yeah, so I did that. Kind of just ate whatever. And because I was exercising so much, it actually was fine in terms of like weight balance and everything, but I still wouldn't recommend it. Then what I did in college. So in college, for a while, I didn't really have a set plan, because I didn't really need one. So I was doing not cross country. Sorry, you guys. It's been talking for so long that I'm just getting a little bit light. It's just like, need to recharge in a little bit. I'm going to finish out this video because I'm just so excited, and I just really want to get this first video out to you guys right now. So then once I was in college, the nutrition plan that I was doing was basically just eat whatever I want. So I would go into the cafeterias and I would just eat whatever I wanted. So that was, I don't know, somehow I didn't really gain that much weight. I was definitely like puffy though. I was puffy, but I didn't really get fat because I was on the triathlon team. So we were exercising for quite a lot every day, like 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night. So you're like pretty much always working out, and also you were pretty much always hungry. I remember one of my, back in my fat days, which I would call them, oh gosh, I'm funny. I would have for breakfast, okay, because in the cafeterias, in college, you would eat pretty much all 3 meals in the cafeteria. So in the morning, I would have, oh my gosh, you guys, this is bad. I would have waffles with peanut butter and syrup on them. Yeah. So that was, and actually like my other triathlon team friends who were eating in the cafeteria with me, like we would all have that together. So it wasn't my idea, okay? Somebody else, I think, started doing that. I think her name was Grace. So Grace, if you're watching this, I still remember. Those were really good, but I'm glad that that's over, because that probably hurt us more than it helped us. But anyways, it makes for a great story. So yeah, that's what I did in college for the beginning. Then actually senior year of college, I just got very frustrated because I was like, you know what? I'm working out a lot. I'm doing a lot of exercise, but I wasn't really like I think I saw a picture. I saw this magazine of a guy who was a like ultra marathoner or something. I think he would run like 100-mile races. And I saw his body on the front of the magazine, and I'll never forget. It was just so shredded, and he had like really visible abs, and I was like, I want that. And I looked down at my belly, and I was like, I don't have that right now. So I was like, Nick, you gotta make some changes. You gotta make some changes. So I decided to. I actually found that guy. He had a book on nutrition, and so I read his nutrition book right before going back to college. And he was vegan, so I decided to do vegan for like 4 months, and actually I got really thin, because I was also doing triathlon too. So I was doing that, got really thin, but I was also kind of not feeling that good either. So I kind of, over the holidays, like when I went home for Christmas to stay with my parents, since it was college and stuff, I kind of stopped doing that, and I just went back to normal. But that was the time, that was about when I discovered that way of eating where you eat kind of like, or you like track it really carefully and don't eat too much most days, but then every once in a while you kind of like eat more than you would normally eat. And so I started doing that, and around that time, and that was when I developed that weird habit that we talked about. But anyways, that's all that. I also, right after college, when I went to work at my first job, I started, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a lot of oats. So you did a lot of oats and like nuts and stuff. I didn't really like that one. It was just a lot of work. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it was a lot of meal preparation, and I didn't really like all the meal preparation. So then I went back to vegan, if you can believe that. So basically, it was just a whole roller coaster. I was doing all these different things. Nothing really seemed to work. And then I finally, one day I was scrolling on Instagram, and this was only about like 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, that I finally figured this out. But I was scrolling on Instagram, and I saw this guy, and he looked very muscular and shredded and also really happy. And I was like, that's really good. Like, I want to be muscular and happy because I don't want to look good but feel terrible, right? So I just like clicked on his Instagram, and I started like looking at the food pics that he had, and they all looked really, really good. Like really good, like salmon and eggs and like cheese and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to look into what this guy has to say. And then I discovered that he did this thing called the Ketogenic Diet, which, you know what? I'm not even going to get too much into that because I want to create a whole special, entire different video covering exactly the ketogenic diet and what I do and what the ketogenic diet is, okay? So we're going to have a ketogenic diet video. So make sure that you subscribe here on this channel, and I will tell you all about the ketogenic diet because I just love it. And I think a lot of you guys are really gonna, if you haven't heard of it and you haven't tried it, it's gonna change things in a big way for you. So the ketogenic diet was the way that I finally ended all of my cravings. Like, ended all of them for good, forever, just no cravings, and lost a ton of weight. So like, you see that? That is thanks to the keto diet. I used to have some extra face fat, and it finally went away. So that's my ketogenic diet story, and that's really my whole entire story from start to finish. Okay, so I think we're going to leave it at that for the first video. This was a really great first video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Again, subscribe to my channel to get more tips, to just get fit with me, get fit with Nick. That is my new exciting channel. I've been really looking forward to this, and because it's January 1st and the first day of the year, this is my New Year's resolution where I am posting all these new great video for you guys. Okay, so thanks so much everybody for watching. Again, subscribe, let me know what you thought of the video, and I'm going to be uploading more fitness videos so that you can get fit with Nick. Oh, by the way, you guys, I forgot to say this earlier. I tried to just put a piece of gum in my mouth. Be sure to subscribe to or follow my Instagram, okay? So, I really just want to get people inspired and posting like daily inspirational like little pictures. So not just YouTube. I love YouTube though. So stay here. This is my main place. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram or something, like you can also do that. And I'll tell you how to do that too. But yeah, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of topics that you want to see, what kind of things you want to learn about. And I will be sure to do that, okay? Thank you for doing that. And I really look forward to reading your comments. I promise you that I'm going to reply to each and every single one. And also give this a thumbs up if you liked it. What else? What did all the YouTubers say? Hit the subscribe bell and the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video, okay? So do that, and I will see you next time.